Level 1. The Teppo. You are 17 years old and you live in Shinjuku. Your father left when you were 6. Your mother works night shifts at a convenience store. You sleep on a futon in a room the size of a closet and you eat cup noodles 4 nights a week. School never made sense to you. The teachers look through you. Your grades are garbage. But the men outside the pachinko parlor on Kabukicho Street, they see you. They always see you. One of them is named Kenji. He wears a gray suit that costs more than your mother makes in a month. He never raises his voice. Everyone around him moves like he is the center of gravity. One afternoon, he hands you an envelope and says, "Take this to the dry cleaner on Okubo Street and wait for a receipt." You do it. No questions. You come back. He nods once. "Come tomorrow." That nod changes everything. You are a Teppo now, the bullet, the lowest rung. You run errands. You carry packages you do not open. You stand outside buildings and watch the street. You make 0 money for the first 2 months. You are being tested, not for strength, not for loyalty, for silence. A detective approaches you one afternoon. He flashes his badge. He smiles. He is friendly. He says he just wants to talk. You tell him you do not know anything. You walk away. The next morning, Kenji is waiting outside your building. He says nothing. He just bows his head slightly. You have passed the first test. Level 2. The Kyodai Candidate. 3 months pass. Kenji brings you inside. Not into a back room, into the actual office above the dry cleaner. There is a long table. There are 5 men sitting at it. They are all wearing suits. There is hot green tea on the table. No one is loud. No one is sweating. This is the calmest room you have ever walked into, and it is the most dangerous place you have ever been. Kenji tells you that you are being considered. Considered means you now have one job that matters: protection collection. There is a row of small restaurants near the train station. Each owner pays a monthly fee. You are the one who goes door to door and collects the envelopes. Most of the owners know the routine. They slide the envelope across the counter without making eye contact. You bow. You leave. But one ramen shop owner, an old man with a scar across his chin, slides the envelope back. He says he is not paying anymore. He says he has a cousin in the police department. You do not react. You bow. You leave. You report back to Kenji. Kenji makes one phone call. The next morning, the old man's liquor license is suspended on a technicality. 2 days later, you go back. The envelope is waiting on the counter. The old man does not look at you. You bow. You leave. You learn something important that day. Real power does not scream. It adjusts.
Level 3. The Wakashu. You are 21. You have been around for 3 years. Kenji tells you it is time for the Sakazuki ceremony. You dress in formal kimono. You sit across from your Oyabun, your boss, at a low table. Between you are 2 cups of sake mixed with salt and fish. He pours his cup. You pour yours. You each drink. In that moment, you become family. You are his kobun, his child. He is your father. This is not metaphor. The Yakuza runs on obligation and loyalty the same way a family does, except the consequences of betrayal are absolute. You are now a Wakashu, a young member with standing. You have a business card now. It has the family crest on it. You carry it everywhere. You are also expected to carry something else. You always have a small folding knife on you, not for violence, for obligation, because you now know what the rule about fingers means, and you pray you never have to find out firsthand. Your income is 300,000 yen a month, more than your mother makes. You start sending her money without explaining where it comes from. She stops asking. Level 4. The Shate. You are 25. You have 4 younger members working under you. You manage a small gambling operation in the basement of a karaoke bar in Kabukicho. Men come in after midnight. They play Hanafuda cards. They drink whiskey. They lose money. The house always wins. That house is your Oyabun's house. Your cut is 10% of the nightly take. Some nights that is 200,000 yen. Some nights it is 400,000. You are doing well, but you are also now exposed in a new way. The Metropolitan Police Department has an organized crime division called the Organized Crime Control Bureau. They have photographs of you. They have photographs of everyone who walks in and out of that karaoke bar. You know this because your Oyabun tells you. He says, assume you are always being watched. Act accordingly. You start varying your routes to work. You stop using the same phone for more than 3 weeks. You pay for everything in cash. You also start to understand the business more deeply. The gambling is not just money, it is intelligence. Men who gamble talk. They talk about their bosses, their debts, their problems. That information is worth more than the money they lose at the card table. Level 5. The Wakagashira Hosa. You are 30. You have spent 13 years inside the family. You have been arrested twice, once for assault, once for extortion. Both times you kept your mouth shut. Both times the family lawyers had you out within 48 hours. The Oyabun promotes you. You are now the Wakagashira Hosa, the assistant underboss. You manage day-to-day operations. You have 23 men under your direct command. You oversee gambling, loan sharking, and the real estate acquisition business. The loan sharking alone generates 40 million yen a month. You lend money to small business owners, hostesses, gamblers. The interest rate is 30% a month. When they cannot pay, you do not break legs. That is old thinking. You renegotiate. You take equity. A restaurant owner who borrowed 5 million yen and cannot repay ends up signing over 10% of his business. You now own pieces of 11 different restaurants, and you have never cooked a meal in your life. You are also the one who handles discipline within the family. A younger member was seen talking to a reporter, not giving information, just talking. That is enough. You call him in. You sit across from him at the same low table where you took your own oath. You slide a tanto knife across the table. You slide a clean white cloth next to it. He understands. He wraps his left hand. He takes the knife. He cuts the top joint of his little finger. He does not cry out. He wraps the cloth tight. He bows. He leaves. The conversation is over.
Level 6. The Wakagashira. You are 37. The underboss above you retires to Osaka under quiet pressure from the family. You are elevated. You are now Wakagashira, the number 2. You run operations across 3 wards of Tokyo. You manage a budget of 800 million yen annually. You also manage relationships. The Yakuza does not exist in pure darkness. It exists in the gray space between legal and illegal, and that gray space is maintained through relationships with politicians, police officials, and businessmen. You attend charity galas. You make donations to local festivals. When an earthquake hits a coastal prefecture, your family sends trucks of supplies before the government does. The newspapers photograph it. Some of them know exactly who you are. They print nothing, because the relationship runs both ways. But the world is changing, and you feel it. Japan passed the organized crime exclusion ordinances over a decade ago. Banks will not open accounts for anyone connected to a Yakuza family. Landlords will not rent to known members. Businesses that deal with you face penalties. Recruitment is harder now. Young men have other options. The family is shrinking, and there is nothing you can do to stop the tide. Level 7. The Oyabun. You are 44. The old boss dies of a stroke in a private hospital room in Minato Ward. You sat with him at the end. There were no dramatic last words. He just stopped breathing, and the room was very quiet. The ceremony for succession happens 3 weeks later. You sit at the head of the table now. You are the Oyabun, the father. You have 160 men in your family. You control organized gambling, construction bid rigging, corporate extortion, and a growing stake in cryptocurrency laundering through shell companies in Singapore and the Cayman Islands. Your personal income is difficult to calculate because money flows through so many layers. You live in a house in Denenchofu behind a high wall. Your neighbors are surgeons and executives. They do not know what you do. You have a wife who does not ask questions and 2 children in private school. You attend their school events when you can, which is not often. The pressure of the top is a different kind of pressure. You are responsible for every man in the family. When one of your members is arrested, you pay for the lawyer. When one of them dies, you support the family. When a rival family challenges your territory, you are the one who decides whether the response is negotiation or war. You prefer negotiation. Wars cost money and attract attention. But there is one young boss in Yokohama who does not understand that logic, and he is becoming a problem.
Level 8, the Kumicho Alliance. You are 51. The National Police Agency launches a coordinated operation targeting the 5 largest Yakuza families in Japan simultaneously. Over 200 arrests in 1 week across 12 prefectures. Your name is in the warrant, but they cannot find enough clean evidence. You are not arrested. 3 of your top lieutenants are. You hire the best criminal attorneys in Tokyo. 2 of your men take plea deals. They serve time. They say nothing about you. The 3rd goes to trial. He is convicted. He serves 6 years. When he gets out, there will be an envelope waiting for him. That is the agreement. That is the code. But the arrests have weakened you. Rival families smell the blood in the water. The Yokohama boss makes his move. He sends men into your Shinjuku operation and shuts down 2 of your gambling rooms. You meet with him in a neutral location, a private room above a traditional restaurant in Ginza. You sit across from each other with tea between you. You speak for 2 hours. In the end, you cede 1 gambling territory in exchange for his men pulling back completely. You gave up ground. Every man in your family knows it. Some of them start to wonder if you are still the right leader. You know this. You were wondering the same thing about your predecessor when he made his last compromise. Level 9. The end. You are 58. You sit in the back of a black Toyota Century on a Tuesday morning. You are looking out the window at the streets of Shinjuku, the same streets where you were a 17-year-old nobody running envelopes for a man in a gray suit. You have made more money than you can count. You have buried men you loved. You have made decisions that you will take to your own grave. Your youngest son is studying law at Keio University. He does not know what you really are. Or maybe he does, and he has simply chosen not to know. Your driver pulls up outside the dry cleaner on Okubo Street. The same dry cleaner. It has changed hands 4 times over 40 years, but it is still there. You sit in the car, and you think about the boy who walked through that door with an envelope in his hand and no idea what he was walking into. You think about everything that boy was never going to be because of the door he opened. The driver asks if you want to go inside. You tell him to drive. The car pulls back into traffic. The street looks exactly the same as it always did. It never changes. Only the faces change. And somewhere out there right now, there is a new face. A 17-year-old standing outside a pachinko parlor, watching a man in a gray suit who never raises his voice, watching him the way you once watched Kenji. And that boy is deciding, and the machine does not care what he decides because it already knows the answer. It always knows the answer. That is the Yakuza, ancient obligation, modern crime, and the cycle that never ends.